Welcome to Famous People, English Stories. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Introduction: Why keeping your brain young matters. Have you ever forgotten where you placed your keys or struggled to remember someone's name just moments after hearing it? These moments happen to everyone, but they can become more frequent as we age. That's why keeping your brain young isn't just a nice idea, it's essential. The phrase keeping your brain young doesn't mean acting like a child. It means keeping your mind sharp, focused, and flexible even as the years go by. Just like your muscles need exercise to stay strong, your brain also needs regular care and stimulation to stay healthy. Why it matters. Your brain controls everything: your thoughts, your memory, your learning, your decision-making, and even your mood. When your brain is healthy and active, you're more creative, more focused, and more confident. But when it slows down, you might feel foggy, tired, or stuck in old patterns. Let's break down a few words that are important in this topic. Cognitive. This word refers to anything related to thinking, learning, and memory. For example, when we say cognitive decline, we mean the brain's ability to think and remember is getting weaker. Neuroplasticity. This is a complex word, but very important. It means the brain's ability to change and grow, even in adulthood. A plastic brain is not made of plastic. It simply means it can be shaped and reshaped through learning and new experiences. Studies show that people who keep their brains active are less likely to suffer from diseases like dementia or Alzheimer's. These are conditions that cause serious memory loss and confusion. But the exciting news is that science now believes aging doesn't have to equal mental decline. You can take action to protect your brain, and even make it stronger, at any age. The modern problem. In today's world, it's easy to let our brains go on autopilot. We rely on GPS to tell us where to go. We scroll through social media without thinking. We answer messages with emojis instead of real thoughts. These things make life easier, but they don't challenge the brain. Here's a quick metaphor. Imagine your brain is like a garden. If you don't water it, remove weeds, or plant new seeds, it will stop growing. It may even wither. But if you take care of it regularly, it will bloom with new life. That's what we'll explore in this video: how to tend to your mental garden. For English learners. Now, you may be wondering, how is this topic useful for learning English? Here's the exciting part: when you study English actively, you're already doing something amazing for your brain. Learning a new language improves concentration, boosts memory, and increases mental flexibility, the ability to switch between different ideas or ways of thinking. Words like focus, attention span, mental clarity, and sharp thinking all come into play when we talk about a young brain. You'll hear these words throughout this video, and I'll make sure to explain the meanings as we go. This is more than just a lesson, it's a guide to building a better brain and becoming a stronger thinker in English and in life. What to expect. In the next chapters, we'll dive deep into how the brain works, how it changes over time, and most importantly, what you can do, starting today, to keep it young and vibrant. So, are you ready to discover how to keep your brain sharp, fresh, and full of energy for life? Let's get started. Chapter 1: The Science of a Young Brain: What Changes with Age. Let's start by understanding what actually happens to the brain as we age, and why that doesn't have to be bad news. A healthy brain is not about being young in years. It's about staying alert, flexible, and ready to learn, no matter your age. The aging brain, what really changes? First, it's important to know that some change in the brain is normal. Just like skin may wrinkle or muscles may weaken, the brain also changes over time. But not all change means decline. Scientists used to believe that after a certain age, the brain simply stopped growing. But now we know that's not true. Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and form new connections, your brain can actually stay strong, or even get stronger, with the right habits. Let's look at what changes naturally. Processing speed slows down. This means it might take a little longer to solve a problem or remember a name. It doesn't mean you're losing intelligence, it just means your brain needs more time to respond. Memory retrieval becomes harder. You may know something but can't quite pull it out at the right moment. This is normal and happens to everyone sometimes. Multitasking becomes more difficult. Doing many things at once becomes more challenging as the brain ages. In fact, research shows that multitasking is never really effective, even for younger people. What stays the same, or gets better? Here's the good news. Some mental abilities stay strong or even improve with age. Vocabulary and language skills often improve. That's why many older adults are excellent communicators. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage emotions, increases over time. Problem solving based on experience, also known as crystallized intelligence, remains high. This kind of wisdom can't be learned quickly. It comes from living and learning. So while a younger brain might be faster, an older brain can be smarter in more meaningful ways. Vocabulary Corner. Let's take a moment to explain a few important words in this chapter. Neuroplasticity, the brain's power to grow and reorganize by forming new connections. It's like your brain's superpower. Cognitive, relating to thinking, learning, remembering, and understanding. Decline, a slow loss or weakening of something. For example, cognitive decline means the brain's abilities are slowly getting weaker. Multitasking, trying to do several things at the same time. For example, talking on the phone while writing an email. Retrieval, the act of remembering or bringing something back to your mind. Crystallized intelligence, the knowledge and skills you gain from life experience and education. Why this matters to you. Understanding these changes helps remove fear. Many people feel panic when they forget a name or lose focus. But when you know what's normal and what's not, you can take control instead of feeling afraid. For English learners, this is especially powerful. Every time you study a new word, listen to a podcast, or try a grammar exercise, you're improving your brain's health and strength, not just your English. You're practicing active thinking, the kind that keeps neurons, brain cells, firing and building new pathways. Brain cells. Use them or lose them. Here's an important truth. The brain works on a use it or lose it basis. If you challenge it, it grows stronger. If you ignore it, it weakens. Imagine a path in the forest. If people walk on it every day, the path becomes clear and easy to follow. But if nobody walks on it for months, it becomes overgrown and hard to see. That's how your brain works, too. So when you're practicing English, solving puzzles, reading books, or learning new skills, you are walking those mental paths. You are keeping them strong and open. The choice is yours. Aging is not something to fear. It's something to understand. And the more you understand the brain, the more power you have to protect and grow it. In the next chapter, we'll talk about something very exciting: how to train your brain like a muscle. Because yes, you can actually work out your mind. Let's go there next. Chapter 2: Mental Fitness. Train your brain like a muscle. Imagine your brain is like a muscle in your body. If you don't use your muscles, they get weak. But if you exercise them regularly, they grow stronger and work better. The same is true for your brain. Mental fitness, just like physical fitness, requires practice, repetition, and challenge. What is mental fitness? Mental fitness means keeping your brain in good condition. It includes focus, memory, problem-solving, creativity, and emotional control. People often focus on their physical health, eating better, walking more, going to the gym, but they forget about exercising their minds. The good news? Your brain can grow stronger with the right exercises. Even better, these exercises don't need to be complicated or expensive. They can be simple, daily habits that make a big difference. The brain workout. Let's look at some ways to work out your brain. These are more than just fun games. They activate different parts of the brain and help keep it young. 1. Learn something new. When you try a new skill, like learning English, playing an instrument, or using a new app, your brain creates new pathways. This process is called neural stimulation. Vocabulary. Stimulate, to encourage something to become active. Example, reading stimulates the brain. Neural, related to nerves or the nervous system, especially the brain. Pathway, a connection or route. In the brain, it means the links between thoughts or memories. 2. Practice focus. Modern life is full of distractions, messages, videos, noise. But your brain needs focus to stay healthy. Try focusing on one task at a time. Set a timer and work deeply for 15 minutes without checking your phone. This improves something called attention span, the length of time you can concentrate on one thing. 3. Play brain games. Crossword puzzles, memory games, word searches, Sudoku, or even learning new vocabulary in English. These help your brain stay active. Think of them as small weights for your mind. 4. Read and reflect. Reading books or articles challenges your brain to process new information. But don't just read, reflect. Ask yourself, what did I learn? Do I agree or disagree? What new words did I see? Vocabulary. Reflect, to think carefully about something. Process, to understand or work through information. 5. Use the opposite hand. This sounds strange, but it works. Try brushing your teeth, stirring your coffee, or writing with your non-dominant hand. This forces your brain to pay attention and build new connections. Build a brain routine. Just like people go to the gym 3 times a week, you can build a weekly brain routine. Here's an example. Monday, learn 5 new English words and use them in sentences. Tuesday, do a logic puzzle or brain game for 10 to 15 minutes. Wednesday, watch a short documentary and write down what you learned. Thursday, take a short walk and think about a big idea, like success or creativity. Friday, try using your opposite hand while eating or brushing. Saturday, have a conversation in English or write in your journal. Sunday, rest, even the brain needs recovery time. This routine doesn't take much time, but it keeps your brain in motion, and that's the key to mental fitness. English learning as brain training. Learning English is one of the best brain workouts in the world. When you listen, speak, read, and write in a second language, you use many parts of your brain at once. You also improve cognitive flexibility, which is the ability to switch between ideas quickly and think in new ways. Vocabulary. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to change your thinking or adapt to new situations. Adapt, to change so you can succeed in a new environment. This is why bilingual people, those who speak 2 languages, often have stronger memory, better decision-making, and even more protection against age-related brain diseases. So, by learning English, you're not just improving your communication, you're building a sharper, stronger brain. Final thoughts. Mental fitness is a daily habit. The more you train your brain, the more it rewards you with better memory, faster thinking, and more creative ideas. You don't need to be a genius to keep your brain young. You just need to challenge it regularly, just like you would with your body. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into how what you eat affects your brain. Yes, your thoughts are shaped not only by your experiences but also by your food. Chapter 3: Feed your mind, nutrition and brain health. We've talked about exercising your brain like a muscle, but here's something many people overlook. Your brain also needs the right fuel. Just like a car can't run well without good fuel, your brain can't think clearly without proper nutrition. Food is not only energy for your body, it's information for your brain. What you eat directly affects your focus, memory, and mood. In this chapter, we'll explore what to eat, what to avoid, and how to build brain-friendly habits that will keep your mind young and sharp. You are what you eat, even mentally. The brain is one of the hungriest organs in the body. It uses about 20% of your daily energy, even though it's only about 2% of your body weight. That means it needs a lot of good quality fuel to work well. When you eat well, your brain receives the vitamins, minerals, and fats it needs to grow new brain cells and keep old ones healthy. When you eat poorly, the brain slows down, becomes foggy, and may even age faster. Vocabulary. Organ, a part of the body with a special job, like the heart, lungs, or brain. Foggy, unclear or confused, like a brain that can't think well. Fuel, something that gives power or energy. Nutrient, a substance in food that helps the body grow or stay healthy. Brain-boosting foods. Let's look at some of the best foods to keep your brain strong and youthful. 1. Fatty fish. Salmon, sardines, and mackerel are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. These are special fats that help build brain cell membranes and support communication between brain cells. Word tip. Fatty acids don't mean fatty in a bad way. These are healthy fats your brain needs. 2. Blueberries. These tiny fruits are full of antioxidants, natural chemicals that protect the brain from stress and aging. Vocabulary. Antioxidant, a substance that protects the body's cells from damage. 3. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, and broccoli are rich in vitamin K and folate, which are linked to better memory and slower mental aging. 4. Nuts and seeds. Especially walnuts and pumpkin seeds, which contain zinc, magnesium, and vitamin E, all important for clear thinking and mood balance. 5. Whole grains. Brown rice, oats, and quinoa give the brain steady energy. Unlike sugary snacks that cause spikes and crashes, whole grains release energy slowly, keeping you focused. Brain-blocking foods. Some foods can slow down your brain and even cause damage over time. Try to limit. Sugary foods, candy, soda, pastries, they may give quick energy, but they often lead to brain fog and poor focus. Highly processed foods, fast food, packaged snacks, and foods with artificial ingredients can cause inflammation, which hurts brain health. Excess alcohol, a glass of wine now and then might be okay, but heavy drinking can shrink brain volume and damage memory. Vocabulary. Inflammation, swelling or irritation inside the body, often caused by poor diet or stress. Shrink, to become smaller. The brain can actually shrink if it's not treated well. Hydration, don't forget water. Many people talk about food, but they forget one key element, water. The brain is about 75% water. If you're even slightly dehydrated, you may feel tired, moody, or unfocused. Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Quick tip. Coffee and tea are okay in small amounts, but they shouldn't replace water. And sugary drinks don't count, they do more harm than good. The gut-brain connection. Here's something fascinating. Your brain and your stomach are connected. Scientists call this the gut-brain axis. What happens in your digestive system can affect how you think and feel. That's why people sometimes say, "I have a gut feeling." It's not just a saying, it's real science. Eating foods with probiotics, like yogurt, kefir, or fermented vegetables, can support this connection and improve brain health. Vocabulary. Gut, another word for your stomach and intestines. Probiotics, healthy bacteria that help with digestion and support mental health. Axis, a central line or connection between two things. Make it simple. You don't need to become a nutritionist. Just follow these simple principles. Eat more real, whole foods. Add color to your plate, green veggies, red fruits, orange carrots. Limit sugar and processed snacks. Stay hydrated. These habits are not only good for your physical health, they're powerful tools for mental energy and long-term brain youth. Final thoughts. What you put on your plate is what you give your brain to work with. Every bite is either helping your brain grow stronger or slowing it down. And for English learners, the benefit is doubled. When your brain is well-fed and focused, your learning becomes faster, easier, and more enjoyable. In the next chapter, we'll discover another powerful brain booster, curiosity. When you stay curious, your brain keeps exploring, asking, and growing. Chapter 4: Stay Curious, the Power of Lifelong Learning. Have you ever met someone who seems full of energy, ideas, and excitement even at an older age? They're probably someone who never stopped learning. Lifelong learning isn't just about taking classes or going to school. It's a mindset, a way of looking at the world with fresh eyes every day. And it's one of the best ways to keep your brain young. Why curiosity matters. Curiosity is the strong desire to learn or know something. Children are naturally curious. They ask why about everything. But as we grow older, we often stop asking questions. We settle into routines. We stop exploring. That's a mistake, because curiosity is what keeps the brain active, engaged, and open to change. When you're curious, your brain lights up with activity. It creates new pathways, improves memory, and even makes you happier. Vocabulary. Mindset, a way of thinking or attitude. Engaged, focused and interested. Pathway, a connection in the brain that helps you think, remember, or learn. Routine, something you do regularly, often without thinking. Lifelong learning, what is it? Lifelong learning means continuing to learn new things throughout your life, not just for work or school, but for personal growth and joy. It could be learning to cook a new recipe, studying history, practicing English, playing chess, reading about science, or learning to fix something at home. The point is to keep exploring. When you learn something new, your brain has to adapt, and that's what keeps it strong. The science behind learning. Your brain loves novelty. That means it reacts strongly to new information. Every time you learn something unfamiliar, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine. This is the same chemical that makes you feel pleasure or reward. So, learning isn't just helpful, it actually feels good. The more curious you are, the more you enjoy the process of learning. That's why people who learn continuously often feel more satisfied and confident in life. Vocabulary. Novelty, something new or different. Dopamine, a chemical in the brain that brings feelings of happiness and reward. Adapt, to change so you can deal with a new situation. Small steps to lifelong learning. You don't need to study for hours every day to benefit. Just a few minutes of learning each day keeps your brain active. Here are some easy ways to stay curious and keep learning. 1. Ask questions. Instead of accepting things as they are, ask why or how. For example, if you read a word you don't know, don't skip it, look it up, use it in a sentence, and make it yours. 2. Watch and listen. Podcasts, documentaries, and YouTube videos are great ways to learn. Choose topics you enjoy: animals, space, health, travel, languages, and listen actively. 3. Read regularly. Even 10 minutes a day can expand your mind. Try reading in English and your native language. Compare styles, words, and expressions. This sharpens your understanding. 4. Try new things. Break your routine. Try a new activity like painting, photography, journaling, or learning a musical instrument. New hobbies train your brain to think in new ways. 5. Talk with others. Conversations, especially in a second language, are powerful learning tools. Don't be afraid to speak, ask, share, and even make mistakes. That's how we grow. How this helps English learners. If you're watching this as an English learner, guess what? You're already practicing lifelong learning. Every new word, every grammar rule, every sentence you speak adds strength to your brain. You're improving not just your communication, but your memory, attention, and ability to think in more than one language, a huge mental advantage. Being curious about English, how it works, where it came from, why people use certain expressions, turns language study into an adventure. And your brain loves adventures. A curious brain stays young. People who stay curious tend to be more creative, more flexible, and more optimistic. They don't get stuck in the past or afraid of the future. Instead, they keep growing mentally and emotionally. Think of your brain as a sponge. If it's dry, it becomes stiff and useless. But if it stays soaked in new ideas, it stays soft, absorbent, and alive. Final thought. Lifelong learning isn't about age. It's about attitude. You don't need to learn everything at once. You just need to stay open, ask questions, and enjoy the process. Your brain will thank you for it. In the next chapter, we'll move from the mind to the body and discover how movement isn't just for muscles. Physical activity plays a surprising role in brain health. Chapter 5. Move your body, sharpen your mind, physical activity and the brain. You may think of exercise as something we do only for physical health, to lose weight, build muscles, or look better. But here's something many people don't realize. Movement isn't just for the body. It's one of the most powerful tools for keeping the brain young, sharp, and full of life. The mind-body connection. The brain and the body are not separate. They work as a team. When you move your body, you send signals to your brain that activate energy, focus, and creativity. Even a short walk can clear your mind and boost your mood. Scientists have proven that regular physical activity improves memory, increases attention, and helps the brain grow new cells. In fact, exercise is one of the only things that has been shown to actually increase the size of the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. Vocabulary. Hippocampus, the part of the brain that helps store and manage memory. Activate, to turn something on or make it start working. Boost, to increase or improve something quickly. How movement helps the brain. Let's break down exactly what happens in the brain when you move your body. 1. More oxygen and blood flow. When you exercise, your heart pumps more blood to the brain. This brings oxygen and nutrients that help brain cells grow and stay healthy. Think of it like watering a plant. Without water, it can't thrive. 2. Release of brain chemicals. Exercise increases the release of chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, all of which make you feel happier, more focused, and less stressed. Vocabulary. Dopamine, a chemical that helps with motivation and pleasure. Serotonin, a chemical that improves mood and calmness. Endorphins, natural feel-good chemicals that reduce pain and boost joy. 3. Stress reduction. Movement helps reduce levels of cortisol, a hormone connected to stress. Too much cortisol over time can damage the brain, especially memory. Physical activity keeps cortisol in balance. 4. Improved sleep. When you move more during the day, you often sleep better at night, and deep sleep is when your brain does its housekeeping work. It clears out toxins, strengthens memories, and resets for the next day. What kind of movement is best? You don't need to become an athlete or run for hours. The goal is to move regularly and joyfully. Here are some brain-friendly movement ideas. Walking, just 20 to 30 minutes a day, can make a big difference. Dancing, great for coordination, memory, and fun. Yoga or stretching helps reduce stress and increase body awareness. Swimming, cycling, or sports boost heart health and brain oxygen. Even cleaning or gardening count as movement. What matters most is consistency. A little bit every day is better than a big workout once a month. Vocabulary. Coordination, the ability to move different parts of the body together smoothly. Consistency, doing something regularly over time. Awareness, knowing or noticing something clearly. Movement plus language learning equals a superpower. Here's something amazing for English learners. When you combine movement with learning, you remember more. Walking while listening to English audio, using hand gestures when learning new vocabulary, or practicing English while exercising activates both sides of the brain. Studies show that physical engagement, doing something with your body, helps create stronger memories. It's called embodied learning. Vocabulary. Engagement, active involvement in an activity. Embodied learning, learning that connects the mind and body by using movement. So if you're struggling to remember English phrases or grammar rules, try moving while learning. It's not only helpful, it's natural. Brain breaks, why sitting too long hurts your mind. Many people today sit for hours, at desks, in cars, on the couch. Long sitting times are bad for the body and the brain. When you sit too long, blood flow slows down, and so does your thinking. That's why it's important to take brain breaks, short moments to stretch, walk, or move. Even 2 to 3 minutes every hour can refresh your mind and boost productivity. Tip: set a timer every hour to stand up, stretch, or walk around the room. Your brain will thank you. Final thoughts. Physical movement is not just exercise, it's brain care. When you move your body, you're turning on the brain's full power. You're building a mind that is more focused, more joyful, and more alive. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym. All you need is a little space, a little time, and the willingness to move. In the next chapter, we'll explore something just as important: your social life. Staying connected to others is not only good for the heart, it's one of the greatest secrets to a youthful brain. Chapter 6: Social Brilliance: Why Connection Keeps Your Brain Alive. We often hear that humans are social creatures, but what does that really mean? Simply put, we are made to connect. Relationships, whether with family, friends, classmates, or even strangers, are essential not just for emotional well-being but for brain health, too. In fact, staying socially connected is one of the most powerful ways to keep your brain young, alert, and emotionally balanced. Loneliness, on the other hand, doesn't just affect the heart, it can actually age your brain faster. The brain-on connection. When we talk, laugh, or even argue with others, our brains light up. Different parts of the brain become active during social interaction. Areas related to language, memory, emotion, empathy, and decision-making all work together. You could say that a conversation is a full brain workout. Vocabulary. Interaction, when two or more people communicate or act together. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Emotionally balanced, feeling calm and in control of your feelings. Why socializing matters. Let's look at some of the brain benefits of staying socially active. 1. Improved memory and focus. When you talk to people, you're constantly remembering things, names, stories, shared experiences, jokes. This repetition helps strengthen memory pathways. 2. Faster thinking. Conversations often require quick thinking, responding to questions, understanding humor, or following a story. This keeps your mind alert and flexible. 3. Emotional protection. Having strong relationships can help protect you from stress, depression, and even anxiety. Support from others can calm the brain and reduce levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. 4. Longer life, healthier brain. Studies show that people who maintain social relationships live longer and are less likely to suffer from cognitive decline or diseases like Alzheimer's. Vocabulary. Cognitive decline, a gradual loss of memory or thinking ability. Cortisol, a hormone released when you feel stress. Too much can harm the brain. Support, help or comfort from someone you trust. The danger of isolation. Isolation means being alone for long periods, without meaningful conversation or connection. It can happen at any age, but older adults are especially at risk. Even during busy times or while living in crowded cities, people can feel isolated if they don't have deep, real relationships. Social isolation can lead to boredom, sadness, and even confusion. Over time, it can physically change the brain and increase the risk of memory loss. Tip: don't confuse being alone with loneliness. Alone time can be healthy. Loneliness is when you need connection but don't have it. Vocabulary. Isolation, the state of being alone without contact or interaction. Meaningful, full of purpose or deep value. Risk, the chance of something bad happening. Practical ways to stay socially active. You don't have to be an extrovert to keep your social brain alive. Even small, regular interactions can make a big difference. Here's how. 1. Have conversations daily. Speak with someone, a friend, family member, neighbor, or classmate every day, even for just 10 minutes. These small talks keep your mind engaged. 2. Join a group or class. Language courses, book clubs, walking groups, or online communities help you meet new people and share ideas. 3. Volunteer or help others. Helping people gives you purpose and often connects you to kind, like-minded people. Purpose is great for the brain. 4. Practice listening. Good social connection isn't just about talking, it's about listening. When you really listen, you strengthen empathy and deepen relationships. 5. Mixed language learning with socializing. Use your English skills in real conversations. Join English-speaking groups online or in your area. Chat, make mistakes, laugh, that's how brains grow. Why this is great for English learners. Talking with others, especially in another language, is one of the best brain exercises in the world. It improves memory, builds vocabulary, boosts confidence, and trains your brain to respond faster. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, even if you forget a word, trying to express your thoughts in conversation is a powerful way to keep your brain sharp. Each conversation is a small mental challenge, and each one strengthens your brain. Final thoughts. Human connection is like mental sunshine. It warms the brain, encourages growth, and brightens our mood. Whether it's sharing a laugh, asking for advice, or simply listening, every interaction helps your brain stay young. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into one more powerful strategy. The importance of novelty, trying new things and breaking the routine. Chapter 7, Break the Routine, the Role of Novelty and Challenge. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It loves habits, routines, and familiar tasks because they save energy. But if you want to keep your brain young, you can't let it live on autopilot. Doing the same things over and over may feel safe, but it can make your brain lazy. One of the best ways to keep your mind sharp and flexible is to challenge it with novelty, new experiences, new skills, and even new environments. When your brain meets something unfamiliar, it wakes up, starts asking questions, and begins to grow. The brain loves a good challenge. Imagine lifting the same small weight every day. After a while, your muscles stop growing because they're no longer challenged. The same happens with your brain. Repeating only what you know, the same words, the same food, the same path to work, gives the brain nothing new to build on. But when you try something unfamiliar, the brain must work harder. It forms new neural connections, strengthens problem-solving skills, and builds cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch ideas, handle change, and solve problems creatively. Vocabulary. Autopilot, doing something automatically without thinking. Novelty, something new, different, or unexpected. Neural connections, links between brain cells that help us learn and remember. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt your thinking in response to new situations. How novelty boosts brain health. Trying something new doesn't just feel exciting, it activates important areas of the brain, including those connected to memory, motivation, and attention. Here's what novelty and challenge can do for your brain. 1. Stimulates curiosity. When you do something new, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical linked to pleasure and learning. That's why trying new things often feels energizing. 2. Strengthens memory. New experiences are easier to remember. Why? Because the brain pays extra attention to things that are different. A new activity creates memory tags that are easier to recall later. 3. Increases focus. Trying a difficult puzzle, learning a new language, or visiting a new place forces your brain to stay alert. You can't go on autopilot. That kind of focus is great mental training. 4. Improves confidence. Successfully doing something new, even something small, builds confidence. It tells your brain, I can do hard things. That belief helps you take on bigger challenges in the future. Simple ways to add novelty and challenge to your life. You don't need to jump out of airplanes or travel the world to challenge your brain. Small changes can have big effects. Try these ideas. 1. Change your environment. Rearrange your room. Work in a different cafe. Walk a new route home. Changing what you see forces your brain to pay attention. 2. Learn a new skill. Try drawing, coding, cooking a new dish, or learning to play a musical instrument. Even 5 minutes a day of practice can help. 3. Use the opposite hand. Try writing, brushing your teeth, or opening doors with your non-dominant hand. It feels awkward, and that's exactly why your brain grows from it. 4. Speak in a new way. Try telling a story in English. Use new words. Practice describing something without using gestures. The effort strengthens language skills and mental agility. 5. Read or watch something outside your usual interests. If you always watch comedies, try a documentary. If you usually read about sports, try science. New subjects introduce new vocabulary and fresh ideas. Vocabulary. Mental agility, the ability to think quickly and clearly. Awkward, feeling strange or difficult. Agility, the ability to move or think easily and quickly. Why it works for English learners. Trying to use new grammar, speak with strangers, or listen to fast English is a challenge, but it's also one of the best brain exercises you can do. When you stretch your language comfort zone, you create more mental connections. These not only improve your English, but also strengthen your memory, creativity, and problem-solving skills. So if something feels hard, don't avoid it, embrace it. The effort is what makes your brain grow. Final thoughts. Routines give us comfort, but novelty gives us growth. Your brain is not a machine set in stone. It's a living, changing organ that responds to what you give it. If you feed it new ideas, new challenges, and a little bit of discomfort, it will reward you with youth, energy, and clarity. Don't be afraid to try something new. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be different. In the next chapter, we'll explore a topic many people ignore, but it may be the most important of all. The role of rest and sleep in keeping your brain young and healthy. Chapter 8, Rest and Reboot, The Secret Power of Sleep. In today's busy world, rest is often ignored. We talk about working hard, pushing limits, and staying productive, but we rarely talk about the power of doing nothing. Yet, when it comes to brain health, one of the most important things you can do is simple: sleep. Sleep isn't a waste of time. It's when your brain does its most important work. It resets, repairs, and gets stronger while you rest. Without enough sleep, your brain can't focus, remember, or stay emotionally balanced. What happens in your brain during sleep? While you sleep, your body rests, but your brain gets busy. Sleep is when your mind performs maintenance, like cleaning, organizing, and refreshing. Here's what happens during a good night's sleep. Memory storage. The brain takes short-term memories and stores them as long-term memories. Toxin removal. The brain clears out waste products that build up during the day. Learning. The brain reviews what you learned while awake and strengthens new skills. Emotional regulation. Sleep helps manage your mood and reduce stress. Without enough rest, all of these systems break down. Vocabulary. Maintenance. Work done regularly to keep something in good condition. Toxin. A harmful substance. Regulation. Control or balance of something, like emotions or systems in the body. The cost of poor sleep. Lack of sleep doesn't just make you tired. It affects every part of your brain. Poor focus, harder to concentrate and think clearly. Weaker memory, harder to remember names, words, or lessons. Slower learning. New information doesn't stick. Mood swings, more likely to feel angry, sad, or anxious. Increased brain aging. Long-term poor sleep can speed up mental decline. It's no surprise that sleep problems are often linked to conditions like Alzheimer's disease, depression, and anxiety. Sleep is not just about feeling rested. It's about keeping the brain alive and strong. Vocabulary. Mood swing, a sudden change in emotional state. Anxious, feeling nervous or worried. Decline, a slow loss of ability or quality. How much sleep do you need? For most adults, 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night is ideal. Teenagers and younger people often need more. But it's not just about the number of hours, quality matters, too. Light, interrupted sleep is not as helpful as deep, peaceful sleep. Ask yourself, do you feel refreshed in the morning? Do you stay alert during the day? Do you fall asleep easily at night? If not, your sleep may need improvement. Tips for better brain sleep. You don't need sleeping pills to rest better. Small changes can make a big difference. 1. Create a sleep routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps train your body to rest naturally. 2. Avoid screens before bed. Phones and computers give off blue light that can confuse your brain and stop melatonin, the sleep hormone, from being released. 3. Keep your room cool and dark. The brain sleeps best in a quiet, cool, dark space. Use curtains, turn off lights, and keep electronics away. 4. Don't eat or drink too late. Heavy meals, sugar, or caffeine before bed can disrupt your sleep. Try a light snack if needed, but avoid coffee or tea late in the day. 5. Use sleep to learn. Before sleep, review a few English words or a grammar rule. During deep sleep, your brain will continue to process this information. Sleep doesn't just rest the brain, it strengthens what you've learned. Vocabulary. Disrupt, to interrupt or stop something from working well. Melatonin, a hormone that helps control your sleep cycle. Why sleep helps English learners. Learning a language is like training a mental muscle, and muscles need recovery. Every time you learn something new in English, sleep helps lock that knowledge into your memory. Have you ever had a moment where you finally remembered a word or understood a grammar rule after a good night's sleep? That's no accident. Sleep continues the learning process. So, don't just study harder. Rest smarter. Final thoughts. We live in a world that celebrates activity. But real brain power comes from balance, knowing when to go and when to pause. Sleep is not a weakness. It's a superpower. If you want your brain to stay young, active, and ready to learn, give it the rest it deserves. In the next chapter, we'll tie everything together and explore how combining these habits, from movement to mindset to sleep, creates a life full of energy, purpose, and lifelong learning. Chapter 9: Your Daily Brain Plan, Building a Brain-Healthy Lifestyle. Congratulations! You've learned many powerful ways to keep your brain young, sharp, and full of energy. Now, let's put it all together into a simple, easy-to-follow daily plan that helps you build a brain-healthy lifestyle. A healthy brain is the result of many small, positive habits repeated every day. You don't have to be perfect, just consistent. Over time, these habits add up and transform your mind and your life. Morning. Start with clarity and energy. Begin your day with a clear mind and positive energy. Hydrate. Drink a glass of water to wake up your brain. Move. Do light stretching or a short walk to increase blood flow and oxygen to your brain. Set an intention. Think about what you want to learn or achieve today. Practice English. Read or listen to something interesting in English, even just 5 to 10 minutes. Daytime. Stay active and engaged. Keep your brain busy and happy throughout the day. Break tasks into small steps. Focus on one thing at a time. Avoid multitasking. Take brain breaks every hour. Stand up, stretch, or walk for 2 to 3 minutes. Eat brain foods. Include nuts, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains in your meals. Learn something new. Try a new word, phrase, or fact. Use English in conversations or writing. Socialize. Talk with friends, family, or classmates. Practice listening and speaking. Evening. Rest and reflect. Wind down and prepare your brain for recovery. Limit screens. Avoid phones and computers at least 30 minutes before bed. Review your learning. Quickly go over new English words or ideas before sleeping. Relax. Practice deep breathing, meditation, or gentle yoga. Get enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of restful, uninterrupted sleep. Weekly. Add novelty and challenge. Try something new. Learn a new skill, take a different route, or explore a new hobby. Use your opposite hand. Write or do tasks with your non-dominant hand to build brain connections. Join groups. Attend language classes, clubs, or social groups to expand your network. Reflect on progress. Celebrate small wins and set new goals. Key tips to remember. Consistency is more important than perfection. Small daily steps build a strong brain over time. Balance activity with rest. Mental fitness needs both challenge and recovery. Stay curious. Ask questions and explore new ideas. Curiosity fuels lifelong learning. Take care of your body. Nutrition, movement, and sleep are the foundation of brain health. Connect with others. Social relationships keep your brain vibrant and joyful. Why this plan works for English learners. By combining brain-friendly habits with English practice, you're not only improving your language skills but also strengthening memory, focus, and creativity. Learning a language becomes more natural and enjoyable when your brain is healthy and motivated. Remember, every word you learn, every conversation you have, and every new idea you explore is an investment in your brain's future. Final thought. Keeping your brain young is not a secret or a magic trick. It's a lifestyle. One that you build day by day, with small but meaningful choices. Your brain is your most valuable tool. Treat it well, and it will support you for a lifetime. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more English learning tips and brain-boosting advice. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Also, share in the comments below. What's one new habit you're excited to try to keep your brain young? Your story might inspire others on their learning journey.